Hey, good morning, friends. So today is Monday, April the 6th, 2020, and I hope that you're having a fantastic day today. Maybe you are even watching me in your pajamas, which I'm totally jealous of. But today we don't have very many things to cover, but we do have some important things to cover in math. So let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and pull out all of your papers if you haven't done that already. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you about your handwriting, okay? Now, I know that some of you have been practicing your handwriting on paper. Some of you have been practicing your handwriting on whiteboards. Maybe even you've been able to pull out some sand or shaving cream or some gel. Some of you have been practicing writing in the sand. So that's really cool. Whatever works for you, this is your chance to be practicing things like that, okay? The whole idea is to practice those fine motor skills. So get out some Play-Doh and practice. Cut with your scissors and practice. Anything that gets your fingers moving, all of that's going to just help with your handwriting, okay? Also, a really fun thing to do is to practice those backward crab that we did at recess at school a lot. That puts pressure on the palms of your hands, and that actually helps with your handwriting too. Even crawling around on your hands and knees like a baby, that helps too. So whatever you find, any other kind of ways that you can think of that's going to help you practice, do that, okay? Because it's just going to make your handwriting even better. And I love to see your handwriting. So let's go ahead and get started on handwriting. It's a really cool paper today. If you look right here, I have it. And it's a little girl who is sitting at a table, and she has some presents in front of her. And if you remember, we had a couple of friends who had some birthdays at the end of March. We had Tripp had his birthday, and then Bentley had his birthday. So I hope they both had a fantastic birthday, and I cannot wait to give them a huge birthday hug when we see them next. But let's go ahead and look to see what Deb is doing on her paper. So on house number 1, it says, Deb got a big box, period. So you're going to trace that, and then you're going to write that on house number 2. So let's see what house number 3 says. House 3 says, the box is a gift, period. So you're going to trace that, and you're going to write that on house 4. So it looks like Deb is having a birthday too, because look, she's got her gifts, she's got her birthday hat on, she's completely ready. So make sure you trace it very nice and neat. You also have your handwriting laminated card that I sent home. That is for you to be able to trace with your Expo marker, your marker, and you can trace those letters if you need extra help, and then you can erase it with the sock or whatever you have. Okay, but I did send your stock home with you too. So let's go ahead and turn it over to the back, see what's on the back. Oh, I like this picture right here. This looks like he's having a lot of fun fishing. Maybe you have a pond close to your house and you've been able to go fishing. So I haven't had a chance to go fishing yet, but maybe I can pretty soon. Just remember that if you are going out of your house, remember to take those extra precautions and don't get too close to other people, okay? Okay, because I want you to stay nice and safe. So let's see what this boy is doing. He's all by himself, so he's being nice and safe. So let's see on house number 1. It says Luke likes to fish, period. So guess who this is right here? That is Luke. Our sentence is already telling us what he likes to do, and since it's ended in a period, we know that it's telling us something. It's not asking us anything, and it's not using any kind of excitement there. It's just telling us that Luke likes to fish. So you're going to trace that one. You're going to write it on house 2. Let's see what house 3 says. Can he get a big one? Question mark. Okay, so it's using a question mark there. So we know that a question mark isn't telling us something. It is asking us something. So our voice changed a little bit right at the end because it's asking us a question. So on that one, you're going to trace it, and then you're going to write it on the last line. Okay, that's it for handwriting today. So go ahead and get out your next paper. We're going to talk about how you can be a good helper too. Okay, so your next paper looks like this one right here. Says, I'm a helper. So hopefully you have been a very good helper at home. I know that this is a lot of time that we're spending at home and we don't get to play with a lot of friends. So I hope that you are being a very good helper with for your mom and dad at home too. Okay, so let's go ahead and read our little story, and then you get to color the pictures. Okay, here we go. Oh, and look right here. Remember that we always read the title first, and I see there's an exclamation mark, so you have to use some what? Excitement. Okay, here we go. I'm a helper. Sometimes I help by working hard to pick up my books and toys. Sometimes I help by playing without making any noise. Sometimes I help with great big jobs. I always find a way to be a super helper, both at home and school each day. And that's written by Cheryl Parvin. So remember that Cheryl is the author. The author is somebody who writes the poem or the story or the book, right? So she's the one who wrote it. Now you get to look at the pictures and color the pictures. Am I worried about your coloring? Not worried about your coloring. But if you have some free time, it's still good to work those fine motor skills that are going to help you with your handwriting too, right? So remember, practice makes progress. So let's look at the pictures that you get to color on today. So on your yellow circle right here, he is helping by giving the dog a bath. And on the green one, that boy is helping by picking up trash. And your poem said that you're a good helper at home and at school. And I know that so many of us at school, when we see a need, we meet a need. Well, that doesn't stay at school, remember? Jesus wants us to help other people no matter where we are. So even if you're at home, if you see a need, meet a need, okay? If you see something that needs to be picked up, go ahead and pick it up. If you see something that needs to be cleaned up, clean it up. Do whatever you can to help out around the house and be a good helper too. Let's look at your very last one. Your last one right here, that looks a lot like Emma to me. Does that look like Emma to you? I don't know, kind of looks like Emma to me, but she is helping make her bed. So maybe you are helping make your bed in the morning too, and if you are, good job. That means you're being a good helper at home. So if you want to color it and you think that is Emma, remember that Emma has yellow hair. So when you're coloring, make sure you use real life colors too. Okay, look on the back. Nothing on the back of that today. Okay, so you don't have anything on the back of that today. So you have your handwriting to do. You have your I'm a big helper paper to do. You don't forget your Bible verse that you're practicing. You're practicing your X. So don't forget that one, and your Psalm 23 still. We've been practicing that one for a long time, so hopefully you've gotten really good at it by now. But we have some things that we need to go over in math, okay? So go ahead and pull out your math one, and then I'm going to get everything ready for you because on your math is a calendar, and we've been practicing so much this year on our calendar at school, and so now you get to do another calendar on paper. So go ahead and get that out, and then I will see you in just a moment. Okay, so hopefully you have out your math, and if you have any kind of manipulatives that you want to do, like blocks or Skittles or M&Ms or suckers or paper clips, or maybe you have a bunch of dolls or dominoes, anything like that that you want to use while we're practicing your math, this is a great time to do that, because if we were at school, we would be practicing with the things that we would have in the classroom. We would be practicing with our cubes again. Maybe we'd be practicing with our popsicle sticks that we've done, practicing with our little markers that we use, right? So whatever you have, go ahead and pull it out with you, and you can help me do it. So today I have some little froggies that we're going to practice using, because we've practiced with these on our board before, and I don't think I've ever used this particular frog, so I wanted to use it with you today. Okay, so let's look at your math combinations first. So right here on your combinations, on number 1, all it says is to add. So that means that we're putting things together. They give you the combination. All you have to do is to figure out the answer. So I'm going to use our little froggies. So it says 6 plus 2. So I'm going to use our pattern because I know that's easier to count. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to turn it just a little bit so that you can see me. So 6 plus 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's our 6. Now we got to do plus 2. 1, 2. And now we have to come up with the answer. So we know this is 6, so I don't have to count these again, and that's our pattern. So if you recognize that pattern, you don't have to count that at all. So 6, 7, 8. So 6 plus 2 equals 8. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one, okay? So go ahead and get out something else if you want to. I'm going to keep using my frogs. So let's look at what the next one says. The next one says 9 plus 1 equals. So I'm going to set up mine to be 9. So we know that's 6, 7, 8, 9. So here I have 9 frogs, and now I have to do my 1 frog. So 9 plus 1 equals. So I don't need to count all of these again. So we'll say 9, 10. And if you did not need to do that, that is fantastic. Because if you don't need to use these things, then don't use them. But if you need to, go ahead and do that. But if you remember our rule, anything plus 0, the answer is going to be that number, right? So 10 plus 0 equals 10. Anything plus 1, the answer is going to be the number after. So 9 plus 1 equals 10. That's right, because it's the number that comes next. So let's look at your next one. Your next one is 3 plus 4. I'm going to set mine up in the pattern that I know. So if you want to set your things up in the pattern, you can do that. If you don't need to, don't worry about this, okay? Because this is the last one we're going to help you with, and then the others I want you to try by yourself. So go ahead and set up the pattern if you need to. If you don't need to, fantastic. I'm going to set mine up too. Okay, so I'm setting my pattern up. Remember that it's 3 plus 4. So on my first set, this is my 3. Remember that your pattern can be up and down. It can be vertical, right, like your relationship to Jesus, or it can be horizontal, like your relationship to your shoulder partner. I decided to do mine vertical today. So 3 and then plus 4. So I'm going to make my pattern in our 4 pattern 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I know that is my 4 pattern. I don't need to count these anymore. I know that's 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 plus 4 equals 7. And if you need to do those patterns, do that. It's okay. This is time to practice. If you don't have anything laying around your house, use rocks. You know, use your beans, you know, whatever you have around the house, you can use those things. If you have an abacus at home, I've taught some of you in RTI how to use the abacus. Use the abacus. Whatever you have laying around at home, even if you have game board pieces, use them, okay? This is something that you can do for extra fun. And we would be doing these kinds of things in class anyway. So go ahead and answer the next ones. So you have a 3 plus 3, a 2 plus 5, and a 4 plus 2. And if you notice, a 3 plus 3 does not have a twin because it's a double. Don't let me trick you on those, because some of you, I tricked you on those last time, and doubles do not have twins because it's the same number. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at number 2. We're looking at that clock. This is the one that says, remember Mr. Hour? He is a little bit past the 11th, but whose house is he still in? He's still in the 11's house because he has not made it to 12's house yet. So your hour would be 11. Now look where your Miss Minute is. Your Miss Minute is touching the 3. Remember on the clocks that you need to count by 5s. I'm going to get my clock out so that I can do this with you. If you want to get your clock out, go ahead and do that. You don't need to because you already have your clock on your paper. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my Judy clock out so we can do it together. Okay, so I've got our Judy clock out, and my clock is set up exactly like your clock is on your paper. So Mr. Hour is just a little bit past the 11 because remember, when Miss Minute moves around the clock, Mr. Hour moves a little bit too. So she has already moved from here to here, so that caused Mr. Hour to move just a tiny bit. So when you're doing your minutes now, remember that we're counting by 5s, right? We're counting by 5s. So every blue or red number on our Judy clock, every red number, you're going to count by 5s. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. You always always start on the 12th. So you start right here. 5, 10, 15. So your clock would be 11, 15. And remember, when you're writing your 15, 15 is in the what family? It's in the teen family. So if it's in the teen family, it starts with a 1. So remember to write it correctly. And if you need to pull out that hundreds chart, you can do that, okay? So your clock with your little cute little mouse and the cheese, make sure to write that correctly. Now let's look at number 3. Number 3 has the popsicles right there. So it says, draw the dimes you need to buy the popsicle. So how much does a popsicle cost? It costs 30 cents. So if you don't remember what a dime is, this is what the dime looks like. Remember this guy on the front, the president on the front? Remember it says Liberty right here on the back. Remember that we talked about the easiest thing to see is that torch in the middle. On the bottom it says 1 dime. At the top it says United States of America. And the book already tells you, the paper already tells you that it's going to be dimes. So if you don't remember what how much a dime is worth, do your song. Are you ready? Dime, dime, little and thin, I remember you're worth 10. So 1 dime is 10 cents. So you're going to draw the dimes that you need to buy that popsicle. So if that popsicle is 30 cents, remember you're counting by tens. So 10, 20, 30. So how many dimes was that? That's the number that you're going to draw. Those are the circles that you're going to draw on your paper. Okay, now the bottom part, number 4, that's the part that I want to go over really carefully with you, because this is our calendar part, and we've been practicing this all year long, but this is where you actually have to start writing on your calendar, and that part we've only practiced like one other time. So go ahead and make sure, if you want to, you can look at a calendar close to you. Okay, I'm going to pull out the calendar for April. So this is April. So I'm going to pull out my calendar for April, and then we're going to do this part starting it together. Okay, now if you want to pull out your calendar, you can do that too. Okay, so I pulled out my calendar to let you see. So this is my big calendar right here. It's for the month of April, and then I have our little calendar right behind me. Now remember that April the 1st, April Fool's Day, that was last week. Okay, so that was on a Wednesday. So if you look right here on my calendar, April 1st was on a Wednesday. There's nothing in these other squares right here. So our calendar on our paper needs to look just like that. So we're gonna skip 1, 2, 3 squares. And remember, every calendar is going to have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's going to stay the same on every calendar, just like our calendar at school. So on your calendar here on your paper, you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and look, there's Wednesday. So that's where you're going to write the number 1, okay, because that was April 1st. So what comes after 1? 2. What comes after 2? 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill up this part, and then I'm gonna get you started on the next row, and then I'm gonna tell you where to stop on your calendar. Okay, so there's 1, Thursday was April 2nd, Friday was April 3rd, Saturday, April 4th. Now we go back to this row, not this one right here. See how it's on the calendar right here? You go to the one underneath it. So right here, on this Sunday, you're gonna write 5, today's the 6th, and you're going to keep going until all of this is full. So look right here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Start on the next row. This is Easter Sunday right here, the 12th. We're going to be on spring break on that week. So 12 all the way to 18, then starting 19 all the way to 25, start at 26 all the way to 30. So let's see where our little calendar stops, because our calendar, they might actually have a couple extra boxes because we never know exactly what month we're going to do while we're in school. So let's see where we stop right here, okay? So we know that we need to stop on 30. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we're going to stop right here at 30. And look, if you find the 30 and you go all the way up, that's on a Thursday. Look at my 30. Go all the way up. That's on a Thursday. So that's where you're going to stop on your April calendar. And if you have a calendar at home, you can pull that out so that you can look at it. Because if we were at school, you would have our big calendar to look at too. So you can go ahead and do that. Remember, I stopped on the 6th and then I wrote the 30 on there for you. You don't stop. You keep writing the numbers just like you would on a calendar until you get to 30. Okay, so hopefully I will see you before that time in person, but if not, hopefully I'll get to see you the next month. Okay, so go ahead and turn your paper over and we're gonna see what's on the back of your math paper. So this is Freddy Frog right here. So here's Freddy Frog. And Freddy Frog wants to jump on the lily pads until he gets all the way right here to the turtle. So the thing with this paper though is you've got to count by 5s. And remember that we've done this before when we did the 3 little pigs, but it was a little bit different. We did by 1s. Now you're doing by 5s. Okay, so remember when you count by 5, so you start at 5 and then you go skip 5, go to 10, 15, 20, like that. And remember, if you're counting 5s, what coin are you counting? Ooh, I almost gave it away. You're counting the nickels, right? So think of it like that if that's easier for you to count. But you're gonna count by 5s. They're gonna try to trick you. Don't let them trick you, okay? You're too smart for that. So let's see on Freddy Frog. Remember what number we're gonna start with? We're gonna start with 5. So find 5 right here. So here's 5. If you wanna do it with a pencil first and then your crayons, you can do that. So 5. Oh, look, there's a 10 and there's a 10. So you have to look at what comes next. 10, 20. No, that's counting by 10s. 5, 10, 15. So you gotta go this way. And then 20. And then you're gonna keep going. You go to 21 or 25. Yes, you go to 25. Kiss your brain if you knew that. If you counted by 5s and you went to 25, kiss your brain. Because you're super smart today. Don't forget, they're gonna try to trick you. You've got to keep going now. So you've got to find your way all the way to the turtle. So you're counting by 5s all the way to 50, okay? When you're finished with this, you can color your frog if you want to. You can color your turtle if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay. I'm not worried about your coloring. I just want to make sure that you understand how to count by 5s, okay? But still, you need to do whatever mommy and daddy's telling you to do at home, okay? Because while you're at home, they are your teacher. They're helping me with how you're doing your papers. So if you're not doing what mommy and daddy's telling you to do, mommy and daddy are going to tell me, okay? And I want to know that you are showing those fruits of the Spirit that we've been talking about, and that you are being diligent in your work, and you are showing kindness and love and patience, right? And that means that you're showing all of that to your mom and dad too, because you're honoring thy mother and thy father, and that's being respectful. So make sure that you're showing those fruits of the Spirit while they're trying to help you out. Okay, remember that this is Monday and we don't have reading groups on Monday, but we will be starting our blue book this week. Okay, so I'm super excited to be doing that with you. So go ahead and get out your blue book, because I want you to do your picture walk today. Remember, during your picture walk, I don't want to see you reading anything. I just want to see you looking at your picture so that you can figure out what our book is going to be about, so that when we do our reading group tomorrow, you know exactly what's coming up next. Okay, I love you so much, and I hope that you are being such a good little diligent student for mommy and daddy, and I cannot wait to see you on our Zoom meeting coming up soon. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.